Hello, world. I'm Jasmine Burke. Check out my interview with Dawn Dai as we talk about the new season of Saints and Sinners, how to walk in your light, and how you are your greatest asset. Only on the Vitamin D with Dawn Dai podcast.
Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about your life.
How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me on your show to talk about Saints and Sinners.
This is going to be great. First, let me tell you, I'm digging your green. You know, emerald is a color too, and it's just it just exudes like some royalty and everything you're giving me. But I'm Dawn Dai, so I want to tell you a little bit. This is my podcast, Vitamin D with Dawn Dai. So this podcast is a multivitamin for your mind, your body, and soul. On here, it's all about getting excited about your life. And it's about shedding the light. So with anything that you're doing, just getting the positivity, and we're shedding light on you today, right?
Thank you. I hope I can be a burst of vitamin and energy and inspiration for somebody today.
Absolutely. And I was just looking, we're going to be talking about the season premiere, just premiered last night of Saints and Sinners. Tell us about it. Tell us who you are. Tell us about Saints and Sinners and why this project is so amazing.
Yes. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Jasmine Burke, and I play Dr. Christie Johnson on Saints and Sinners. This is our 5th season, and it has been an incredible ride. It is a dramatic show that is full of scandal and just beauty and Black excellence, but then also we go into the intricacies of the dynamics of family relationships and just the different it's not a fantasy, but the drama on the show
What is first?
He likes to call us a black soap opera. That's what
right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're in that space with it all. But it's not fantasy, but it's giving you that dose of your soap opera drama mixed in with that Black excellence.
Yes. And it's the world things. And I think it's just like, that Black excellence that we talk about. It's just like the flavor. It's the flavor to the drama. It couldn't just be the regular drama. We had to add some flavor to it. But I want to say that I really enjoyed it. I had a chance to check out the season premiere last night, and don't worry, this is not a spoiler alert. I know many of you people. But what I think is so interesting, and as we talk about on a Vitamin D of just being inspirational, there's this relationship that you have with your mother, played by Vanessa Bell Calloway, Miss Ella May. And you're coming off of a stint of you've lost your license. Now we can say, you lost your license, your medical license. And now there's a scandal going on. But I understand that you're kind of at a tug of war with the relationship with your mom. And what I love about it is because there's something to be said about a mother-daughter relationship. And I'm sure you can relate because you grew up with a single mother too, right? Okay, so talk to me.
Yes. Well, with Lady Ella and Dr. Christie, that mother-daughter relationship is, I think every mother-daughter relation, not every, because some people have just like an amazing story to tell about their mother-daughter relationship. But theirs has been strained because Lady Ella, like you said, played by Vanessa Bell Calloway, has been disappointed in her daughter Christie, not living up to the expectations that they had for her and the ideas that they had for her, who she was supposed to be. And with Christie, she tried very hard for a long time. She tried to do what her family wanted her to do. She tried to live up to that perfect expectation, but she fell short because nobody is perfect.
No.
Okay? Nobody is perfect. And she has felt the pressure. She didn't really get a chance to define what her life would look like for her. Like, okay, no, this is what your life is going to be like. You're going to go to medical school. You're going to run the clinic. You're going to marry well. You are going to look perfect at all times. And that was hard for Christie to live up to.
Yeah, and here's the
Because-
thing too. It's so interesting that I think it happens in a lot of elite families, that it's this area where you have to conform and to be a certain thing. And it's like in life, when you talk about living your best life, you're just designed to do you and to
yeah,
live your life for you. And it's like when we get in those situations where we assign ourselves, what you say, to these labels, feeling like we have to meet the status quo, we kind of like separate ourselves with that. And then we find, just as you can see with your character, is that there starts to be a little friction.
yes, yes, because what someone else has planned for you may not be what
Come on.
the creator has planned
Come
for you.
on.
And even your family, even your parents have an idea about who you're supposed to be. And if you are not doing that exact thing, or it's taking you a little longer, or, you know, your path is just a little different, you may meet that ridicule, that criticism, and it starts to tear at you.
Mhm.
And then you get lost in the sauce. And that's what has happened for Christie. She has gotten lost in the sauce throughout the seasons. And it's traumatic to be told by your mother and your grandmother, who are these prestigious women in the community, that you are a failure. You are a disappointment. You let us down and you ain't never gonna be nothing. Get out of here. That's traumatic.
And you know what? There's a thing, like I have life tattooed in my mouth on my bottom lip, right? Because it's just like I really speak life and want people to know how important it is that you have to speak things over yourself. And when you're talking about your character, like you just think about, how can you even flourish in that type of environment?
You can't. You can't. You will drown. You will drown. So what Christie ended up doing throughout the seasons is getting into trouble and falling into traps and self-sabotaging.
That's
And-
self-sabotaging. Ooh.
Yeah.
Woo.
Self-sabotaging. And there's this video that I love. Everybody knows I love this video. They always send it to me. It's a lady, I don't know her name, but she's saying the words wrong, but we know her heart and knows what she means. She said they will try to satellize and sabotage and destroy you out here. So that's what has happened with Christie. But she now finally in season 5, we started to see it in season 4.
Stepping into herself, right?
She's like, you know what, forget this. No, I'm not who you thought I was going to be. Yes, I fell into some pits and some traps and I went down and had some valley moments. But guess what? I'm not going to let that define me. I'm not going to let that define the rest of my life and my experience. I'm going to, even if you don't believe in me, you're my own mother. Even if you don't believe in me, I'm going to find it in myself to believe in my own self. And you can look at me with disappointment all you want, but watch me come up out of these ashes. Watch me
just
come
like
up
the
out.
phoenix. You're gonna
Just
rise.
like the phoenix.
So-
And she is. She is. But just like when you just starting to get back on track and get your wings
Get a
again.
little slip, you know.
So here goes some. It's gonna be another obstacle coming around the
Though,
corner.
when you talk about going to the next level and taking flight, it's going to take a little bit more wind. It's going to take a little bit more of a push. But I think what it is it's like you got to practice, I guess, like your faith muscle. Like if you got to this point, yes, it may be a little harder, but you know that if you reach out, something is going to grab you. You know that if you pull back, you're going to have something in your hand. But here's the thing I'm running with you. What part of your aspects of your life, like growing up, because you're from Atlanta, right?
Yes.
What would you say you growing up and how your relationship with your mother has definitely helped, influence your character, Christie?
Ooh, wow. My relationship with my mom, my mother, like I said, she was a single parent mother. She raised us in the projects because that's what she could afford to do, but she didn't let that define her. She didn't let that define her. She said, you know what, this is our circumstance right now, but let me pour into you guys. Let me give you some tools. Let me show you some things to show you this doesn't have to be your life.
Right.
take from me the good. Take from me the good. And I'm going to pour into you, my brother and I, to show you guys what is possible. She did her darndest. She went above and
Her
beyond.
baby on TV has been on multiple films.
I
think
know,
she's
but
doing
you
all
know what?
right.
Even with me being on TV, my mother isn't impressed with that. She's
But
not.
I'm saying the fact that you still flourished. Like one can say, like, if it was come from impoverished circumstances, and it's not so much to say that, oh, because you're on TV, that's the epitome of life, but it's to say that something did sprout and grow from it.
Yes. You know what it taught me? I saw how hard my mother worked. And I saw how she thought outside of the box. And I saw how she didn't let our immediate circumstances and surroundings tell her who she was or what she was able to accomplish and attain. My mother went back to school. She got her GED. She went to college, became a nurse. She didn't just keep us in the projects, because with the welfare system, it's a system and it's meant to trap you and keep you in it. And people always talk bad about people who have to rely on government assistance as if they don't want more in life, or as if they're lazy people, and that's not the case. When you're in the welfare system, you don't know until you're in it. Right. It's the way you're treated. You're treated very inhumane. You're treated like you are a dog. So that's gonna affect you.
And especially if you don't have that muscle, because I myself, like in transition to LA, you know, the grind, just after whatever you're going after. There was a point where I was on public assistance and going there, if I had to make sure I got my card, my benefit card with the finances up, just how they treat you. And there's a difference, because if you don't have the mindset to keep pushing and keep pressing, people are going to tell you no. And there's things that what you don't know that you don't know.
Yeah, if you don't know, you don't know. But what my mother did do was she said, okay, what are the resources available to me? If I'm gonna be in this situation, okay, what are the resources available to me? And my mom, she found out that, oh, there's a Section 8 program. Oh, what is Section 8? Oh, the system is a step. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to have it for a certain amount of time to help you get on your feet. There's a lot of resources in there to help you do that. But it's so much time spent on treating you inhumane and keeping you in that psychological rut that a lot of times people don't even get a chance to poke their head out and see, oh, what else is available? So we went to the Section 8 program. And then from there, they do have a program where they will help you buy a house, where they'll take you through all the training about being a first-time home buyer. Even there's programs to help with the down payment, to get your interest rate lower, just to help you. And she did all of that. And then we got out of that. So that's what I learned from my mother, that your immediate circumstances don't define the rest of your life. And so you learn from those moments, take what you can, grab the anchors where you can, and pull yourself up and get out of it. And that's what I take from my mother-daughter relationship as it relates to my mother-daughter relationship with Vanessa Bell Calloway, Lady Ella on Saints and Sinners. But Christie had to find that strength on her own. And that's what I took that from my life. Oh, okay. So she has to find her own anchor. And Dr. Christie, she found the anchor. But like I said, just when you're trying to get it together in life, there's gonna be another obstacle around the corner to test you. It's gonna be something else to test you. Yeah.
And it's like, you know, when you were just talking about how your mother, that mindset, it reminded me of this quote of this young man I knew when I lived in New York. His name is 𝘃𝘀𝘀 𝘃𝘢𝘀, but his quote would be, your location is not your destination. And I think it just couples with the fact of even how your mother, and perhaps even with Christie, her vision that she desires of what she sees for herself is greater and beyond than, of course, what her mother and her grandmother, who, you know, it's so interesting that both of these characters have Christie in this position of having to have a look. And what people are going to find out, if you haven't already watched it, is that Lady Ella just got another view of who her mother is. What?
crazy. Isn't that something? It's like people want you to live up to these expectations, but they're not living up to them themselves.
They can't even see it. It's this imaginative area that one didn't even put on self, but yet I'm supposed to assign myself to or equip myself to or level up to. Isn't that interesting?
It's very interesting. It's what I learned like from psychology and just going to therapy, learning about myself, how my mind works, what my behaviors are and why, is that a lot of times, I've been guilty of it myself. And now that I'm more educated, I can realize when other people are trying to do it to me, projecting, when that's how they feel about themselves. So they push it onto you. And it's a tactic. And so for Christie, I would say she's a saint. She's been sainting the last season 4 and now season 5, but it's going to be heartbreaking. A lot of people got a chance to see it in our Valentine's Day special movie that came out on Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. Which was, it's a bridge between season 4 and season 5, which is going to air right before you guys have seen it. It aired right before, the show came on. But that bridge is showing you the transition for Christie, but it's so unexpected. You guys are getting a chance to see what's about to happen, but I promise you have no idea how far it's about to go. Christie is about to go down a rabbit hole, and she's gonna go down a rabbit hole.
Okay, if you're tuning in right now, we are talking to Jasmine Burke, star of Saints and Sinners on Bounce, and you portray the role of Dr. Christie Johnson. And we're just talking about the dynamics of the relationship. And then here's another thing that I was thinking about, even with her role and her character. What is she going after? What does she want? Because it's like, you see in a situation, one thing about it, what I love about it is that I can see your relationship, or Christie's relationship with Lady Ella. She loves her mother.
Yeah, she loves her mother.
Because, you can't choose your family.
No.
But there is some friction. And I'm just wondering, what does Christie want?
Christie wants to please her family. She has wanted to, let me rephrase that. She has wanted to please her family. And that people pleaser syndrome, not having an identity of your own and being told who you're going to be. And when that pressure of that is just too heavy. And like when you make Christie, when she has made the mistakes, it hasn't been a soft place to land for her in her family dynamic. It's not because
heck, if she falls, it's like falling on a bed of nails, walking on glass, burning by the fire.
That
danged if you do, danged if you don't.
Exactly. That has what it has been for Christie, falling on a bed of nails. So it's like, okay, I can't run to my family. Okay, so I'm gonna run to these streets. And we know what happens when you run to the streets. You're gonna get towed up.
Don't get dirty. You're gonna get scuffed up. So if she's out here running to the streets, now looking at yourself as Jasmine, right? And then looking at Christie, what advice would you give Christie?
The advice I would give Christie is, baby girl, you are not your mistakes.
Wow.
You are not your mistakes.
I felt that in my legs. I felt that one.
Yes. Because it's that thing, you start to beat up on yourself. You start to feel you are your mistakes. That you and your mistakes are one. Oh, I did this terrible thing that was outside of who I am. Oh, that must be who I am. And how that energy that you feel when you know you're stepping outside of your character It doesn't feel right. It feels kind of
Mm-mm.
icky. It feels, oh, why did I do that? And that heaviness of that remains with you, and you carry that around, and you feel that way about yourself. And that starts to reflect in everything you do.
Everything. Come on. I always tell people how you do anything is how you'll do everything. On this podcast, I tell people all the time, you are your greatest asset. And it's just basically looking like this. If you're talking about yourself on a life bank account perspective, I don't care your cars, your clothes, you can have your family, whatever it is, you are the most important, because if you're out of balance, like you say, anything an extension of that account, that's an investment that's pouring on to any other relationship or any other aspect of your life.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
it just really made me think, like, when we talk about making sure we practice and walk into a moment that's authentically us, it relieves us in a sense to just be, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That relief. But like, how do you get that relief?
I think it's one
What do
thing
you
you
tell
just
your
said. It's
viewers?
behind you. Now let's think about this. It's so easy. Like you said, okay, girl, you are not your mistakes. How is it? Like, it's, for example, say if you're going to walk to the street corner, right?
Mhm.
The sign is right there. So you know where you're going. So
Mhm.
if your mistakes are behind you, why are we looking that way? It's point blank, period. But if
Yes.
you get to a point where you keep whipping back, I do these lyrics of popular music. It reminds me of 𝘃𝘢𝘇𝑗 Badu. It's nothing but the same as Bag Lady. It's going to slow you down. And then, like you said, oh, my neck hurt, my back hurt, my legs hurt. I got corns and bunions on my feet now. Uh-oh, arthritis is kicking in, because you've decided to lug that with you. And all you got to do is pack light.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it from a religious perspective, they say, cast your burdens and worries on the Lord. Just get it outside of you, because you have no business with it. So when you say, why are we looking back? Heck, because we're consistently trying to figure out what was rather than what is.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because that's all we got right now.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting how we're so focused on what the future can bring that we miss out on the gift of just being present right now.
Right now. Right
And
now.
and if we're talking about having a gift and receiving, just like you said, us keep looking at the past, us keep holding on to these other mistakes. Guess what? We're locked in the sense of nothing can come in my life because I'm holding on with what was. Well, how about we talk about what will be? And
Yes.
then if I go left with it, I think that's why I haven't read it yet. But just understanding the title of Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, it's always a process. It's always a journey. And I
Mhm.
just love this journey that you're exploring with the audience of saying where Christie is going to go to. I mean, she was at a situation of living up to these expectations, got lost, everything got stripped, and now you have to build back up.
Build it back up. Yes. Oh my gosh. That's exactly it.
A
You
saint ain't nothing but a sinner who fell down and got up.
just got
What
up.
you say?
That's it. That's it. That's it right there. You just encapsulated Christie's experience on
Okay,
saying,
well then let me pull it here. You said you talked about all of her mistakes, right?
yeah,
Tell me something that you admire about her.
I admire that Christie still, you know how when you like if your spirit is good, right?
Come on.
No matter what you do or you trip up, you fall, it's something in you that's going to uh still be connected to that goodness in you. And that's what I admire about Christie. Like her spirit is good.
Mm-hmm.
And how am I trying to say this? So when she gets into these situations, right? So like in season 3, she got caught up in this stealing baby scandal, right? Stealing baby scandal. And but at the end of the season, she did the right thing. She returned the baby. So it's like that thing where no matter how far down a path you go, you can always turn it right back around.
Come on. Even the sun is a full circle. They want you to follow the light.
That's what I admire about Christie, that she's always able to remember who she is. Eventually, she'll say, you know what? No, that's not me. Okay, let me get back on track. And I just admire that so much about her. Yeah.
Why do you think it's so important to know who you are?
Because there's so many distractions trying to tell you who you're not. And you know what? I'm gonna get just spiritual, okay? So the enemy, that's what the enemy's goal is: to steal, kill, and destroy by any means necessary. And the enemy uses people. That's the thing. The enemy works through people, just like God works through people. Like, I never look at human beings and give them the power of God. I can see what God is doing through them. But I never look at somebody and say, oh my gosh, that person, oh my gosh, if that person could just see me, okay, I just need that from that person. It's like, no. I pray, I say, God, show me who you're gonna use.
Come on. Be an instrument. What?
Yeah. And that's really what it is. So the enemy does the same thing. He works through people. So when people are behaving badly, I don't put it on the person. I say, oh, okay, you're being used right now. Oh, okay. You trying to test me. Oh, okay, you trying to see how far I'm gonna go. Oh, okay, you want to see if I'm gonna cuss you out. Okay, you want to see if you know what I'm saying? Oh, right. Okay, you being used as an instrument right now to teach me something. And I wasn't always, thinking like on this high.
I was about to ask you, no. When did you find out who you were?
I've been searching for who I was for a long time, right? And so here's the problem. I was searching for who I was. I am who I am.
Come
right?
On.
Oh, really? Like,
where's the GPS? Where does the GPS show you where you are? So wait, when did that click? Because some people, that's easy to say. When did it click? Okay.
It wasn't too long ago. It was very recent. It wasn't like, oh my God, like it was very recent. I was reading, I've always read the Bible, but I would just read it like a verse here, a verse there, or whatever like that. But I said to myself, probably like a few years ago, like I just wanted to read the Bible front to back, not for like, oh, I'm trying to like get deeper into my spirit. No, I just was like, I just want to read it like a book. What is, let me just read it.
I don't know how many. So wait, you were able to read it like a book front to back?
I haven't finished yet.
Okay.
But now, and I said this was a few years ago, so I'm a slow reader. I got so many books on my shelf I haven't finished, but it's been a process. But something I read took my socks off. It was so simple, and I can't remember the exact verse, but it said, the human spirit is God's lamp.
Oh, catch it. Go ahead, I'm listening.
God's lamp. And then I read something else that said, you are God's light. Now, this was in a different verse. You are God's light. I said, oh my gosh, that's who I am. It's so simple. It's not confusing. All this time, I thought it was so confusing. I thought it was like this deep, like who am I? Where is it?
Yeah.
And come to find out, I'm God's light. Just shine.
That's what this vitamin D podcast is all about. You see what I'm saying? It's just all about being a reflection. And then I have this quote I always say, what allows a diamond to shine are the multitudes of cuts that have been placed within it. If you think about it, the value, just congratulations. Are you married yet? I know you're recently engaged.
I'm engaged.
Congratulations.
I am in the midst of wedding planning. Yes.
But just like your diamond that you have, and just like us being diamonds, we have different cuts, whether it is, being in a single family household. Just because there are some things that you're not going to, receive, not because somebody's lacking, it's not there. obesity, depression, whatever it comes. But just like you said, being that lamp and then walking in your light. What happens when the light hit the cut on the diamond? And when you're not at the point where you're trying to hide or be something that you're not, you're so you that it's crystal clear. What?
Mm, yeah.
You can't help but shine. Do you know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. It's interesting that you were just talking about the Bible and talking about reading. Are you Christian?
I am. I identify as Christian, but let me be specific. Don't forget your thought, because I don't know what you're about to say, but I know it's gonna teach me something and I want to hear it. But let me I just want to define this. I do, because I do believe in Jesus. I have my own ideas about that. And another thing that I read in the Bible. Oh, one thing, I grew up around a lot of different religions. I have one grandmother that's Jehovah's Witness. I have one grandmother that's Pentecostal Baptist. I have an uncle that's Nation of Islam. My best friend was Catholic. She was Puerto Rican Catholic. So, and I would go to all of the different services with all of these different people in my life. And all of these people are beautiful, loving people, but they believe something different. But what I learned is that it doesn't matter what you want to call it, but you just know there's something greater than us. And there is, I don't call it what you want to call it, believe how you want to believe it. But if it's leading you to be the best version of yourself, then just go for it. And nobody's wrong. And so for me, I do believe that Jesus was a great man, a prophet. I believe that, when you read about him in the Bible, it's such a short, the piece about him is not even as long as people think it is. And his life was short, but it was a prolific life.
Come on.
And the things that I love about Jesus, I don't try to make Jesus, like, I don't be like, Jesus, if you don't believe in Jesus, something's wrong with you. Like, no, like, okay, believe what you want to believe. But the things that I love about Jesus and admire is his confidence. I loved how what he did believe, he believed. Like, you could not shake him or rock him.
You couldn't tell him who he was.
You couldn't tell him who he was.
In fact, hold up. He came out, period. He said, I am.
Period.
I'm the great I am.
Yes. And the other thing, I love how he walked in any room. He, in front of the Pharaoh, in front of the governor, you just a man. Like, okay, hi, I'm Jesus. Nice to meet you. Oh, you say you're the king of you're the Messiah. That's who you say I am.
Hello?
You believe it or not? What's up? I just love that confidence about him, that like he couldn't be rocked. And those, I take the qualities from it. I don't, get caught up in, all this other stuff that people get caught up in. So, but no, go with your point. What were you saying? You were about to say.
I don't know exactly where I was going, but it's basically echoing the same thing of what you were saying of just, like you were talking about reading it. I haven't read the Bible. I probably read, different things in different scriptures. I don't subscribe to Christianity, but I know who my God is. But what I can say, you will often hear me, quote various things from the Bible, because we can't negate the fact that we are human beings having a spiritual experience. Or no, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And with that in mind, it's just the same thing of saying, hey, whether there's light and dark, a yin and a yang, there's an understanding of the communication. And so this spirit self needs to understand how to work around in this physical self. And so you can't tell me that somebody that is located in Africa may know what an igloo looks like way back in the day, or to know that it was existing, or to know that my skin or that color needs to be that way just because of proximity. But it's everything that you said, is that it's just a way to communicate so that you can understand. And if we get out of the way of trying to hold people in a box, i.e. Lady Ella to Christie, we understand that it's just so much bigger. And it's just like, kind of like how they say like a goldfish. I used to have goldfishes when I was younger. And, you go to the amusement park, you throw the little ball. You just throw the little ball over there at the state fair, and it'll go into the fish tank. You win a fish. And oftentimes they'd say, like with goldfish, they'll only grow the size of the tank that they're in. And I feel like for some people who may not can see, above and beyond, your faith, your bubble becomes right there.
Yeah.
And like for my evolution happened in a world religions class, when I was learning about Buddhism, Judaism, like Shintoism, like everything, I probably made that last one up, but like you said, it's the same principality. And even if we look at just like with all the dynamics of every character, whether they're, trying to hold up, you just see so many different dynamics. You can't negate the fact that everybody is human and we're just trying to survive.
That's it. Like, and the dynamic with Saints and Sinners being that this family is the head of the church. Like this is their church that they've owned. It's been passed down from generation to generation. And that people in the just because you go to church or you're like a leader of a church, you're not perfect. Like you're a human being. You're just, and that's the thing with this Johnson family. The church, Lady Bird, played by the incredible Donna Biscoe. Everybody loves, it's either you love to hate
right
Lady Bird. Like she's so amazing. Like everything about her. She's the perfect villain. I think she is the most incredible villain ever. She needs to go up there in history, of great villains, television villains. But even with her, she has her own story. She wanted a better life for herself. And she married this guy and they started this church. And she said, you know what? I'm going to create who I am. I'm going to create myself. I'm going to become this prestigious lady in the community. I'm going to run this town. Nobody's ever going to take anything from me again. When you pull back the layer of every character on Saints and Sinners, there is a purpose that is greater or deeper than just the mistakes. And you're gonna get people later on in the season. You're gonna see that in Lady Bird and in all the different characters. Oh my God, I can't wait for people to see what's gonna happen with this. It is.
Oh my God, okay, you can't tell us anything, but what can you give us something we may feel? What can I nibble on something?
I want to tell you so bad. It blew my mind when we were in the table read. We were reading the whole season. I said, "What? Who? She did that to him, and he." But then that's how. Oh my! Nigel Campbell. Shout out to Nigel Campbell, our showrunner, the writer. He's so amazing. His mind is on acid.
Because there's some crazy stuff going. I mean, each moment it's like, but in a good way. And I think even leaving off the season, I was like,
yeah,
how did you not know? Like, and then that show that okay. All right. So you can't tell us that. Well, I want to thank you. We've been on here chatting. Is there anything else we should look out for you?
Yes, I'm starring in a movie. It'll be in theaters this summer. I'm so excited. Myself, Taryn Manning, Corey Hardrick. The movie is called Karen.
Okay.
It's so dope. Written and directed by Coke Daniels. I mean, come on. I don't even have to tell you anything else. It's called Karen.
Yes.
So some things will be coming out more and more in the next coming months. And we can, get back on another call and talk about that. But that's coming up. And, more music is coming from me. I'm so excited about my music that's coming.
Where can we find it?
It's going to be everywhere you can buy music.
Okay.
But we'll send it to you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Get it in your rotation.
All right. And now how can people follow you on social media?
It's at 𝘝𝘀 Jasmine Burke. on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at 𝘃𝑒 Jasmine Burke.
Hello. And now, one thing I ask for every person to do, as I told you, vitamin D is a multivitamin for your mind, body, and soul. So I love for my guests to leave just a dose of inspiration, just shedding some light on something. It could be a quote, a lesson that you learned, or just something that's positive.
I like that. So what I would leave the guests with is, oh yeah, this right here. So we were talking about the Bible, and what I want to say about that is, in it says,
Can you start with my dose of vitamin D?
Yes. I'm Jasmine Burke, and my dose of vitamin D is, in the Bible, it says that these words are for your interpretation. I think people miss that all the time. It is not meant, you can listen to whoever you want to listen to hear the stories and the words, but it really is meant for you to read it and to take from it what you take from it. And what you take from it is the right thing. There is no wrong thing to take from it. It's meant for your interpretation, for you to have a personal experience with the creator. So go and get your personal experience and don't let anybody steer you from it. You can never be wrong about what you feel for you.
Bars. Drop it. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I don't know if I don't think I've seen that. It's not like I would, because I don't read it all the time, but that was so great.
Well, thank you.
Jasmine, you're amazing.
So are you.
Thank you for joining us. I mean, if you haven't already, make sure you check out Saints and Sinners on Bounce TV. Premiered last night, April 11th. And is there anything else I missed?
Oh, yes. One other thing. This is a treat. You're hearing it first, actually. So every Sunday before the episode comes on, you are going to be able to live chat with me and the entire cast on the Bounce TV Facebook. So the episode, so the like 30 minutes before it comes on, meet us over there on the Bounce TV Facebook, and I will be hosting a live chat with the fans and the cast. You can ask us anything you want, and we're going to give you our recap and just get you even more hype for the episode.
I love it. Okay,
season 5. It is Saints and Sinners season 5, live, hosted by Jasmine Burke on Bounce TV's Facebook page.
There you go. You got it. Well, thank you again. I'm going to step off. Jeremiah's going to step on so that we can get these jobs. I appreciate you, and thank you for walking in your gift.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was a really great conversation. Like, I didn't even feel like this was an interview. I felt like I'm just having a really amazing conversation with a bright light in this world.
I receive it and I walk in it. Oh, you're going to make me cry. Oh, whoa. No, seriously. Thank you. Thank you for speaking life over me and being a part of my dreams.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right. Take care.
Anytime.
Hey.
Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about your